I was afraid that I wasn't going to fit in. This is like a top-notch school. If I wasn't a top-notch student, they're going to like obviously tell. There's a room of brilliant people. I would love to be there.
I so agree. Like surrounding yourself with high achievers and very like ambitious and also very like intelligent people, that's the best place to grow.
So many people there have passion. You talk to them and like you can talk for hours about their passion. Before applying, I would say, is that truly what you want? Because a lot of times they want the name, they don't want what it actually entitles. You've been given an opportunity of a lifetime, don't mess it up.
Welcome to episode 6 of the INSPobrew podcast, where we stir passion and sip innovation. The premise of this podcast is I'll be having coffee chats with inspiring guests who are living outside of their comfort zone. And on this episode, I'm here with Mike Domm, who's one of my teammates on the rowing team here at the University of Waterloo. Speaking of the rowing team, I already interviewed another one of my teammates, Helen. She's also very inspiring. It just goes to show that you can find lots of cool people who do rowing. So if you want to meet amazing people, then I would recommend you try out rowing. Anyways, enough of the rowing promotion. We're here to talk about Mike's other endeavors. One of them being he was a research intern at Harvard University, which is what I want to focus our conversation on today, as well as how Mike got this far and everything he has learned so far. But before we get into that, let's talk about the beginning. Mike, you're wrapping up your final year here in the Faculty of Science, majoring in physics. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
So what made you want to major in physics? Is science something you're always fascinated with?
I really loved my physics prof. And so I loved like those courses a lot more than anything else. And then I also, back in high school, took a worldwide like university test for physics, and I ended up placing quite high. I thought, hey, like might as well just try this out type of stuff.
Okay, yeah. So then is anyone in your family then in sciences too, or like?
I have a brother in engineering.
Yeah.
My dad's also my brother's in engineering.
Yeah.
My father, my uncle.
Okay. So did you ever consider then going into engineering too, or you kind of didn't really want to follow that?
It was actually my second choice, is to go into electrical engineering at Waterloo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you applied to both then?
Yes, I applied to both.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you have any other like schools in mind too, or like Waterloo was your top choice?
So the thing is, I grew up here, and so it was more about I was able to like save a lot of money by staying at home.
Yeah, exactly.
But the major draw factor for here was the co-op program.
I was gonna say that's the reason it's too. Yeah, well, that's so cool. So working at Harvard as a research intern is pretty exciting. I'm sure a lot of people would love to work at such an institution. Is this a place you had a goal in working at? Was this or did this opportunity come about very spontaneously?
It was a spontaneous goal. It wasn't spontaneous, and it wasn't a lifelong goal. It was in the moment realizing the possibilities of what I can do. So what I mean by that is that I had this lab where my partner, we were taking some data, and as the measurement runs, we just had to wait for like 10, 20 minutes. So we just ended up starting to chat to each other. So we got onto the topic of our past co-ops. And then she mentioned that she worked at Harvard. And so realizing, hey, a Waterloo student was able to go there, brought my hopes up higher. And then realizing wait, if I ask her and keep on seeing what it takes to be to do that, maybe I can be that. And so I started asking them a bunch of more questions about that, and then proceeding to keep on going farther and applying to myself and applying externally and going all through that route.
Okay, so that initial conversation really really just made you realize there was hope, and that kind of led you to keep investigating more and trying to find
keep on building off of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I want to and this is something I really want to emphasize, because Mike got this opportunity essentially through a conversation, you would say, yeah? Well, I mean, so you applied, did you have to send in still a resume?
I sent a resume, a cover letter, a reference letter I sent.
Okay, so all of those things. So it wasn't someone okay, so obviously you still had to do that, but I want to say is that this conversation centered around what he loves. He was in his right place at his right time, and through that got an opportunity that was ready for him. Sorry, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't sound too cheesy, but he obviously still had to do the put in the effort, but his curiosity is what led him to go even further. And if you're passionate in something, then other people will see that and be attracted to that. And by valuing what you do, people will value you. How that rhymes. So yeah, that's super cool. And how's the interview process like too then? So you went on the website, you like?
No, I didn't even do that.
Oh, you didn't do that.
No, it's literally I sent them a cold email saying, "Hey,
Cold emails.
hey, I love what your group does. Can I have a shot?" Yeah, and then I got an email like probably like an hour later, and it says, "I am on sabbatical right now. I will check. I'm not going to check emails that often."
Wait, what do you mean by sabbatical? Wait, what is
like,
that?
so like you're taking a break from work, but you're not like fired. Like you're just taking a like long extended period of time off.
Okay.
And so yeah, so I once I got that email, I was like, oh shoot, like I have like the summer's coming up soon, and I have to have a job. So I was like, I kind of gave up on that, and then I started like looking into different routes.
Okay, so you worked for the Capasso Group, which specialized in photonics research. Yeah. Let's break it down. First of all, what is the Capasso Group?
And let's start on what's photonics.
Okay,
because that's more important. So
a study of light.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. I did a little bit of research.
So
maybe first photonics research. So like you're interested in photonics research. Remember you mentioned you're also interested in optics. Yeah. Are they like connected?
They are the same.
They're the same thing. Okay,
very
optics
much
and
the same
photonics.
thing.
Wow. Okay.
Photonics research is like the study of light interacts, how light can propagate throughout a medium. It's like just how light behaves.
Oh.
And so you're just studying that. Now I was in the applied physics department, so that was more about engineering how light behaves to get a certain outcome out of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. When you got this internship, were you able to choose which like area you'd be like researching in, or you just saw this opportunity in particular, and you kind of just?
Oh, I just didn't care.
You didn't care.
I wanted the opportunity.
You wanted it. Okay. No matter what, you just wanted to like intern at Harvard.
No, I wanted. I wanted to go to a place where I can learn the most. Like where there's if there's a room of brilliant people, I would love to be there.
I so agree. Like surrounding yourself with like just high achievers and very like ambitious and also very like intelligent people. That's like the best place to grow. And yeah, Harvard is like a research institution. Yeah, it's the best known. Is it best known in like research?
I really don't know. I didn't know what the Ivy League schools were until I went there. So
wait, you didn't know Harvard was?
I don't know what the Ivy. I wasn't like informed about that stuff.
Oh wow!
Like I applied because I knew it was a good group.
Okay. Okay, so the group too. So it wasn't just like that. Oh, Harvard. Oh my gosh! You also applied because of the group, the Capasso. Like, okay, so talk about the Capasso group.
Okay. So one aspect of their group engineered wavefronts. So what I mean by that is that when you turn on a light, like the light would start from the light source and start propagating outwards.
Yeah.
So that would be considered like a wavefront.
Oh, okay.
Now those wavefronts, you can get them to converge, and that would be like a lens type of stuff. So you can get all those light rays that were coming out from the light source to bend them all back into a single point. That would be like a lens type.
So instead of like making the light expand like this, it like goes like inwards.
Now the thing is, what Capasso figured out is that you can actually engineer a flat surface called a metasurface to get a desired wavefront that you want. So you can design it so you can get a focus point right at that one point. So you can make a lens just out of the sheet of glass.
Wow.
So you're removing the curvature of it. So the idea is that you will no longer need to have big bulky optics in like space, in satellites type of stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
And also in like cell phone cameras. One of the problems that they're having with the cameras is like this is the bulky part where it sticks out of the camera, and so they have to put like the extra padding there.
Yeah.
Now with the metasurface, in the future these are going to be a flat sheet, so you're no longer going to see this bulk in your camera. Okay,
so the bulk is like right here, like this lens, like
this lens like that comes out of the camera.
Yeah,
you'll no longer will have those in the future.
In the future.
Yeah, in the future. Major cell phone companies already bought into this technology, so it's already being placed in some of the face scanning tools in your front of your phone.
Did you have any other interns there? Was it like, so what was like, what was your group like? What was the kind of?
At the peak of it, there was a guy from England. There was a guy from France. There was a guy from Brazil.
Wow.
There was a guy from Belgium. Those are the interns, at least.
Okay.
Now, like a lot of these interns from Europe, it's their break between their undergrad to the master, so like they do a bit of school, like work experience for their schooling.
Yeah.
So all of them were like pretty much done their undergrad, so they're a bit higher than me in knowledge and stuff. Yeah, what else do you want to know about them?
No, that's really cool because you mentioned how they're literally all over the world. So were you able to like connect with each one and kind of like, were you able to learn more about like where they were coming from, or like did you form like some friendships there?
Oh yeah, definitely. So many friendships.
Oh, we'll actually talk about, pause on that. we'll talk about those friendships in a bit. Okay, so now, so how is it like living in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and how does it differ from Waterloo? Did you like it better there?
It's different. It's a lot of people describe it as like a nice small city, and I would describe it as well. Because like it didn't seem overwhelmingly big, but it also was considered a city type of stuff. Like I felt Toronto was bigger than Boston, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if it's actually true. But it's a beautiful town. A lot of their stuff like they keep as historic sites because it was like one of the first colonies.
Okay.
So like there was like the Boston Tea Party, like they have all like the historic sites of like how like America became to be America. And so like they didn't really like shift away from those old buildings a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be hard to find like a new looking building type of stuff. But also I spent a lot of time around Harvard, so I can't speak for the whole city.
What were your expectations before and after coming to Harvard? Did it match what you had in mind about the school? Because before that, I know you said you weren't really aware of like what the Ivy League schools were, but like did you like have any like maybe even stereotypes about like the people there, or like any like assumptions about like how Harvard would be, or you didn't really think about that?
I was afraid that I wasn't going to fit in.
Okay.
Like this is like a top-notch school. It's like I wasn't a top-notch student, so it's like they're going to like obviously tell type of stuff.
So before coming into it, you were nervous that you wouldn't fit in, but then so when you when you came there, you did like that like shift at all? Like do the students there look like students here? Like did you see any differences in that, or like they're just people, or did you notice some like different like qualities that they have?
You can definitely tell the quality.
Really?
Like no, it's more about they have like so many people there have passion. Like it's like you talk to them and you can talk for hours about their passion, and I love it because like you can just go off of like what they truly love. It's just seeing that contrast of like those people just dedicated and like just love to talk about their work and like what they're doing. I love talking to those people. There was a point where I was able to talk, like it was easier to talk to them than to like other people, just because like hey, you're talking about this something that you truly love and enjoy. Like I would love to know more about it. Like why do you like that stuff? So it was like just being more so curious into like why they like something that can open up like your understanding of like what's possible and what's out there. I would say there's like two types of people, like the ones that worked hard to get in there, and the ones that
had the money.
No.
Do you think? Did you see any like? No, because at the end of the day, like no matter if you're like wealthy, like do you still need like?
No, I didn't see the wealth. Like there was private clubs. There was like private so much
private clubs.
Like there was so much like stuff because I wasn't a student. I wasn't like
able to like.
No, not able, but like didn't know about. So I didn't experience type of stuff.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Like,
no, that's really
like
cool.
The people that I hung out with and got to know, like they were great down to earth people type of stuff, and I love them. And like they weren't like snooty rich people that you would normally think of like going to Harvard. But it could also be like I just never hung out with those people. It's like like your close friends are like the best representation of you. It's like maybe it's just like that.
Cool. So going into like, I feel like this next question, just like it's a good transition. Did you participate in any extracurricular activities or clubs at Harvard? There were a lot of clubs. Because when you think of Harvard, like people aren't just, they're also having fun, right? There's lots of like events happening, lots of.
That's what I loved about like that school is that they only assigned you 4 courses. So you're only supposed to take 4 courses a semester.
Wow.
But like when you think about that, it's like, people like, they have free time to do that, or they have so much time to like get good grades and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to realize like these people are driven. So that like they're only taking 4 courses, but you can 100% guarantee you they're doing like so many things on the side. So it's like they're at least a part of like 2 groups or 2 like clubs, or like at the minimum, and like just doing so much extra stuff that like they're on their free time, are they really going out and partying all the time? Not really. The school lowers back on like the academic pressure of so many classes, but that also gives them the ability to like explore what their passions are and stuff like that. Yeah, and
what like kind of clubs were you part of? And were you able
activities.
to like activities?
I was so I was there for the summer semester and for the fall semester.
Okay.
And so they normally don't have school during the undergrads don't have school in the summer.
Wait, really? Oh, so no school? They just like no study terms or anything?
Mm-hmm.
We have study terms.
Well,
here.
that's because we have co-op.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? More quiet. Yeah. More quiet. Less busy.
So I felt like it was a night and day difference between the summer semester versus the fall.
Okay.
So that's when everybody was in school compared to not in school.
Yeah.
It felt like I had two different experiences when I was there. Yeah, and also the work requirements were heavier or were different from the summer compared to the fall. During the summer, I was part of this nano fabrication seminar. So pretty much every week during my work lunch break, I would go to this classroom and learn about nano fabrication. Now, the nano engineers, they would learn all about this, but I had no idea. So I wanted to learn all this stuff. Yeah, during my lunch break, I would go there, eat my lunch, listen to some guy talk about nanofabrication. I thought it was fascinating because it's how your microchips get built in your phone. So you're basically making nanostructures to make little electronics and circuits type stuff. Also, free pizza was given, so I was like, okay, I'm down.
Right, that's the best thing about clubs, activities.
Yeah.
Free food.
And then when the fall came around, they stopped doing that seminar. Okay. I ended up auditing a Harvard course, 173, I think, is Introduction to Photonic and Electronic Devices, taught by Elvin Hu. She's a great teacher, absolutely phenomenal teacher. But also, I talked to some of the students in that class, and they were saying, yeah, she is the best teacher in the electrical engineering department there.
Wow.
So
you got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky as well. She's a great teacher. She was a great person to talk to. I sent her an email on the very first day of class saying, hey, I've heard from colleagues that this course is really useful for me to know, or just knowledge wise. Is it possible for me to audit your course? And she said, yeah, sure, why not?
So by audit you mean you just were sitting there, you were listening, you weren't doing any of the tasks, the projects or home
Yeah. So that's the idea is you just sit in the class and you just learn. Class wasn't. It was more of a interactive class. I didn't realize that on the very first day, so I walked in. So it's actually this boardroom-esque, this U shape of desks. So there's only 28 people in that class. So you're supposed to talk to your partner. There's more just interactive learning. The only way you're actually going to learn something is if you interact with the material.
Okay.
And I wanted to learn it, so I asked her, hey, I know it's extra work for the TAs and stuff, but can I do the assignments? And she said, yeah, go right ahead. And then she was very confused, and so, I would go to even office hours. And then she would come to me, she would say, Michael, you do realize you don't have to do this. And it's but I really wanted to learn the material. And the way to learn the material is just to interact with it. Yeah, and so, I made some friends in that class where, one time, we worked on the assignment to try, communicated different ideas on the assignment. Yeah. So it's just I got that whole experience of what it might be like to be a student there.
Yeah, brainstorming with all of them and kind of coming with ideas.
Yeah, it was an extremely useful course. I loved it a lot. It made me understand electronics a lot more. Yeah, and so that was that.
And before we move on to that, so that course, it seemed like you had such a fun time. Do you get the same energy in the courses here, or do you wish
the thing is that was an engineering course, there's a big you have to understand there's a big difference between a physics course and an engineering course. An engineering course you always go back to the applications type of stuff, and you always talk about the applications. In the physics, it's more about hey, look at this new particle, let's see what this is. Had a course here called physical optics, where the teacher brought in live setups of optical devices and was showing us oh, you see this effect? This is because there was a misalignment in this lens type of stuff, or it's this is from this effect type of stuff. And so when they have the ability to come in with real examples, they'll try to, but it's kind of hard because you can't bring a whole particle accelerator into a classroom.
Yeah.
But there was one course I took here called quantum 468. It's called Implementation to Quantum Information. So it's basically like saying, hey, like you've learned all this quantum. Let's see what you can actually apply it to. And so we went to like, I think we learned about like 5 different quantum computers. And now what's really cool about this like university is it's really big in quantum. Like it's really well known throughout the world. Like it's like probably like the top 5 or top
Harvard.
3. No,
Oh, Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Oh, quantum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, actually a lot of people in the physics department know about Waterloo really well at Harvard because of the program here. Yeah. I also was a part of their Harvard Outdoor I was part of the Harvard Outdoor Mountaineering Club as well as the Harvard Outdoors Club. So pretty much my weekends would look like I would do work during the week, and then like a Saturday or a Sunday I would go up to the White Mountains with the outdoors group and like hike.
White Mountains?
Yeah, it's
They're called White Mountains.
Like that. That's what like the park like that mountain range is called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's in New Hampshire. It's about like 2 hours away north, just straight north. Yeah, and I loved it so much. If you ever have the chance, go to the Franconia Ridge or go to like Mount Washington. I believe Mount Washington is the highest peak in the east of North America, I think. It's beautiful. Yeah, and so I did that like pretty much every other weekend or every weekend. Is like during the fall.
During the fall, okay.
So
it's like hiking with like people, with like a group. And so moving on to great people, were you able to find a support network at Harvard? How did you go about forming new connections? So yeah, I guess the clubs and like being involved, trying like being curious. Yeah.
It was every 3 months I had to make new friends, and that's because like let's take the interns. Like they had to go back to school type of stuff, or like a new semester came and so like new people type of stuff. So every 3 months I would like make new friends, and then like they would leave, and then I would make new friends, and then they would leave, and then make new friends, and then, like I would leave type of stuff. So I got into that process of like just keep on reaching out and trying to meet new friends. So it was pretty much just put yourself out there. You're not going to make friends by staying home type of stuff. It's like like no matter what. Most of my friends came from either the outdoor group, the class, or work. It's one of those 3. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. And yeah, so true. Like just kind of get yourself out there, and everyone's like in the same like position as you. They're all also trying to make friends and be like, yeah, have some fun. So that's really good. Do you also feel like, because I know sometimes you can feel like if you're in an environment where maybe people are a little bit better than you in a sense, like they're maybe a little bit more intelligent. How do you feel in that environment? Because I know it's important to surround yourself with like, I guess I've heard these sayings like surround yourself with people that are better than you because you have somewhere to strive for.
You have no idea how important that was in my life. Like for context, before I met my friend group in high school, I was on track to either drop out of high school or even or at best go to a college for like a college certificate. Like the friends around you determine so much about you. Like if someone says, "Oh, my life is not going well with you," like with like what I want it to be, I would always say like it's your friends. Like you need to get like it's your friends determine a lot of you. I had no idea like what I really wanted to do. I had like no passion. I had no like university like or college. Like what's the real point of it? Like any of it. Like it's just to get a job type of stuff. Once I met Ramez first, he brought me into his friend group, and like these people were the smartest people in high school. So it was like so starting off from like barely passing to it's like okay, now I'm friends with all the smart people in class. Like okay, it's like I better like take a step up. And so like throughout that process, like my marks like they went from like 60s to like 90s. So like it's so much your friends that affect who you are. Yeah, even when it comes to like university, like the first 2 years, like I had to make new friends, and like you have to like you're not going to always instantly get it all right on the first time. Like you have to go through. It's going to take time, like no doubt. So like the first 2 years in university, I met Jono and Thomas, and like they were like driven and they're like, okay, let's get these good grades type of stuff, and so it helped me a lot. But reliance on people also is a hindrance, which I will admit that I relied on Thomas and John way too much for everything. It was school wise. It's like, oh, I don't know something, I'll go to them. Like, no, like I don't understand this question, go to them. Like just everything. You need to develop that knowledge for yourself type of stuff. And they weren't able to help me I felt like I wasn't able to do anything. Like, you need to believe in yourself.
Okay, so I think you mentioned a little bit. So, what was your typical like day like during your time at Harvard? So I guess you mentioned like you work. Was it like a 9 to 5 thing?
Oh no.
No?
Oh no. My friends would tell me I worked way too much. Person from France, Emily.
Yeah.
He said, Michael, you're working way too much. The normal schedule would be like wake up 6:30, go to the office, pick up my gym shoes, drop off my food for the day, go walk to the gym. It was just like it was the Harvard gym, so it was just like 5 minutes.
Is it really nice, the Harvard gym?
I personally like Sif.
Oh.
I have a heart for Sif, and it's always going to be with me. Then shower in the gym, and then go walk right to walk to my work. So it's like, so I don't have to go back home. And then once I'm at work,
yeah.
Then I started working until like most days I ended at like 7, 8. Depends. Like in the summer semester, I ended early, like at 6.
Mm-hmm.
In the fall semester, there was many nights where I stayed until like 10, 12.
Oh my gosh.
It was a lot of work.
Wow.
It's like, I would say it's like if anybody wants to like work in that like environments, you would have to put time in.
Okay.
And no, I did not see any extra compensation.
No, so you were working overtime, but you didn't get paid overtime?
No. But like, it's also like I was given the opportunity of a lifetime. It's
that's
like
true.
It's very hard to complain type of stuff.
That's so true. Yeah.
Like, this was out of my own fruition. Like, it was just solely like my decision type of stuff. I don't want someone getting the wrong opinion that is like, like
Harvard, they like force you to like, work.
It wasn't like, trust me, my boss is like Michael, you don't have to like stay so late type of stuff.
But for someone who may be considering doing research at Harvard, what advice would you give them to make the most of their time there and do well in such a prestigious academic environment? Kind of like maybe summarize kind of like some advice, like top advice that comes to mind right now.
That I would give them?
Yeah.
Or have they applied or not?
Yeah, like, so who's considering doing research at Harvard, they want to apply, like, and then maybe they get it, and like what advice to give them to make the most of the time there?
Before applying, I would say, is that truly what you want?
Okay. Because
a lot of times they want the name, they don't want what it actually entitles or what it actually means. I would say is like if you're searching for the name, maybe go to therapy. Like, but like if you're there for like you want to better yourself or you want to like become like no more, then I like 100% like try it out. Wait, does that even make sense? No, but what was the question?
Yes, no. So what advice would you give them? So you mentioned how before applying, make sure you actually want it, not just because of like the name of it, like on a resume, Harvard, but also because you really want to get better. You want to be surrounded by these like intelligent people.
Yeah, it's like, you really wanted to like be there for the right reasons, not be there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Next question is like, they're there. What advice I would give them? You've been given an opportunity of a lifetime. Don't mess it up. Like, yes, it's going to be hard work, and yes, you're going to be tired, but it's like, are you going to get this shot again? Most likely not.
Like, you really have to step outside your comfort zone. Like, you kind of have to almost like force yourself to really just seek discomfort every single day. Like, kind of just tell yourself, go, like, I have to do this. I just have to. It's going to be scary. It's going to be like...
and sometimes you're just not going to live up to the expectations and stuff like that. It's like, it's better to, like, be ahead of your problems than like let them control you. So it's like, hey, I didn't get this done. I could like try to like rush it or like lie to my boss or like come out in front and just like be in front of that and say, hey, I couldn't make the deadline type of stuff, but I'm working, like I'm trying to get this done. Like these are the steps I'm doing to do it. Like get it done as fast as possible type of stuff.
Wait, could you repeat that? So you said being ahead of your problems and not behind them. Repeat that again.
Well, yeah, like you can let your problems control you.
Yeah.
I still have so many problems that control me, but like it's like facing your demons. For me, like when I was younger, I used to be very shy, so much that like I wouldn't talk to people. I wouldn't even make friends because like I was just so intimidated and shy from them. Mm-hmm. The ability of stepping outside your comfort zone, or the ability of like getting ahead of it is like, yes, I understand like this is going to be painful, but like there's a better outcome for me at the end of the day. I would say the first step is like admitting that you like those are yours.
So being aware of
and like just saying, yes, these are my faults type of stuff. Yeah. And so it's like you understand what your faults are. So you are probably like in your face type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's when you can like start like noticing like, oh, here's the situation coming up ahead. what can I do differently? Like, just taking one little step differently is like some people's like, oh, that's just like, you just talk to one person. It's like, no, like that's a big step. Like just talking to someone type of stuff. Like, don't underestimate or undersell like your like what what progress you've ever made type of stuff. I would so like I would say that stuff to them.
So how did your experience at Harvard shape your career aspirations or influence the direction of your future research interests?
Okay, yeah. So before doing it, I had no interest of going to get a master's type of stuff.
Okay.
I was just going straight to industry.
Yeah.
And after going there, like I really enjoyed research, and like I would love to like go get a master's or something like that somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
So really coming into it now, you you realize I actually want to do this.
Yeah, realizing like I really enjoy this job. Like it's no longer feeling work. It's feeling like it's feeling like what I want to do.
Yeah. So do you see yourself then like what like university? Is Harvard like? Can you get a master's at Harvard?
The more the thing is like I want a nice balance between the outdoors, hiking, camping, like all those activities, and also doing education. I'm more fixated on like school, like not necessarily the school's name, because it's a PhD is the research is a research. It's but like where you do the research is like can affect you. So it's like if you're doing it like in Colorado where the mountains are, like that would be like beautiful type of stuff. So but also work-life balance, you have to understand like you got to enjoy your work type of stuff, and like the people that you work with can affect that so much. And so my really I don't really look for I'm not really looking for the name. I'm looking for is your group really good, like just like people in general, and then is the location of the city nice, of the benefits of what like I would like to do in my life type of stuff. Harvard has some of those aspects. It's not completely out of mind, but also realizing it's not going to be easy. Like it's not something I can easily walk into. It's going to be like I would have to really work hard for that. And
you kind of think of it, is this like going through the challenge, is it worth it for you? Like kind of think about like, is it worth No, that's really cool how like you went into it and not go into like industry right away.
Well, no, I went into it because I wanted to know what research was like.
Research, okay.
Like that's the beautiful part about like co-op. It's like you get to see and experience what you want, like to understand like what's out there type of stuff.
Yeah.
So like during one of my co-ops, like I worked at a startup. I absolutely love that. I love that community, and I love that the whole aspect of it. So just like co-op gives me that ability. I've also worked at like some average like companies. So, like it's like it gave me such a wide change of like so I could actually develop on what I would like to get out of what I want from my life.
Perfect. That's actually exactly what the next question was going to be about. Like the other internships you had, but do you think Harvard was the best one, or you can't like it was just different? Like it gave you different experiences. But it seems like is Harvard your last internship? Yeah, you're done. That's amazing. You ended off with such a good internship.
Yeah. Technically, I took an extra co-op. So
it's 5. So
for a physics program, it's 5.
Oh, okay.
But I added an extra.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I added an extra emphasis. Yeah.
Yeah, because why not?
Yeah.
I think I would do the same. I'm doing the same thing, like extra, because it gets the more work experience, the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say necessarily like it was a great opportunity, no doubt. I just don't like to compare my other jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. No, of course. Because they're all like so different. It's hard. Yeah. But okay, so one final question. I like to end off with a fun one. Okay, so if you found out the world was ending in a year, how would you spend your time?
Oh, there's so many more questions that come from this. Like, am I the only one that?
Yes. No, you're not. Everyone else's world it's just the whole world in general. Everyone else's world is ending. And
everybody knows that.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Probably just hang with the people that I care about most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you change much? Because you're still doing that right now. Like you're still spending time with people you care about. It's like you're not. Would you change much about it, or kind of just live similar?
Well, this is like these questions. Like if so, like would you change your life? Like let me switch it on you. Like
for me, how I would spend my time, I would leave school and I would not do any co-ops and just focus on my own projects, travel the world and focus on my own projects, and keep developing those and improving on those.
So, like, but that comes back to the, like, aspect of, like, then why don't you? It's like, if that's truly, you do realize, like, there's a good possibility that this is actually my last year, like, ever. Like, I could, like, end up in a fatal accident. Like, you don't actually understand, like, what, like, I find, like, people that, like, change their ideas of, like, oh, what I want to do once I know the world's end. It's like, is that truly what you really want? Like, what you're doing right now is that, like, you have to, like, self-evaluate, because you only get this life. Like, you're not going to get another one. You're not going to get, like, you're not going to get a reset button. There's nothing. Like, you got to make, like, you have to understand, like, this is your shot.
No, but it's easy. It's harder. It's easier said than done. Like,
so much easier said than done. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Like, there's no way I can just,
I can say so much stuff. That's where you have to understand, like, you can sit and complain all you want, but, like, the only thing in life that will ever change anything is action. When I was younger, I used to be, like, close to obese. So I used to be 230 pounds. I wasn't going to lose the weight just by, like, complaining about it type of stuff. Like, I needed to, like, hey, understand, like, I need to stop eating so many cookies. Like, I had to stop eating, like, just so much stuff. Like actually put action to it. Because, like, you can think all the stuff you want, but the only thing that's actually going to change your life is your actions.
I went into it just thinking we talk about, like, Harvard, but we dive into so many different topics. It just goes to show, like, we're all so, like, diverse, not in just, like, we're not, like, just, like, talented in, like, one area. Like, there's so much to every person. I feel like this pretty much wraps up episode 6 with Mike. We definitely stirred passion and sipped innovation. I also feel like my brain has just expanded, and not even in terms of, like, learning all of this little, like, just Harvard in general, but also learning more about, just being more confident, taking these extra steps to try all these things. And this is why I love doing these conversations. You get to learn so much about the world, just simple conversation. So Mike, thank you again for sharing about your experiences.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Yeah, of course. I can't wait to see what you'll be up to next. So before we wrap up, one more thing. Who are we going to be stirring passion and sipping innovation in episode 7? Sneak peek. It's a stop motion animator, voice actor, and card game developer, and more. So that's who we'll be chatting to next. Stay tuned, and until next time. Bye. Thanks so much, Mike. Bye-bye.